There's a lot to look ahead to in New Jersey in the coming year. Certainly the Super Bowl here at MetLife Stadium, a big deal for the state. But I'd like to ask both of you to look back on the year just passed, 2013. And Governor Florio, if I start with you, what stands out as the big story of the year just passed?
Well, probably the elections we had this year. We had a new United States Senator, the passing of Frank Laudenberg, and of course the governor's victory. Overwhelming victory. And those are the big political stories.
How do you size up the big story of the year, Governor Whitman?
Well, I'd have to agree that the focus on the state because of the supposed presidential aspirations of the governor and his win have got to be a big part of the story. But for me also, the fact that the shore came back as much as it did after Sandy. I mean, we're still looking at huge parts of the state that have challenges remaining. But the opportunity to rebuild in a smart way and the ability to at least get the boardwalks back so that you get some income coming into the towns, some revenues, that's an important thing that we shouldn't forget. It's really tough when the devastation is so complete.
Does the Rutgers merger stand out for you? It was billed as the biggest ever merger in higher education history.
Well, it's really going to change things, and particularly when you think about the hospital mergers that are going on, and we are going to be one of the premier research hospitals and universities in the country, one of the top 10, and that's going to be a big difference and draw a lot of attention to this state.
I think the of interest to me was the collaboration between Rowan and Rutgers Camden. That there's a medical school there, an osteopathic school, a hospital at Cooper Hospital is doing very well. So that has great potential for doing a lot of interesting things for New Jersey.
When you look back at the year just passed, in terms of some of the polling that's gone on, certainly jobs and the economy seem to rank pretty high on people's list of importance. Is that on your list of 2013?
I can remember every month, every week you'd look closely at the unemployment numbers. That was something that was of huge importance, and the economy and where it was going. I mean, that's your primary responsibility as a governor. You have to deliver a balanced budget. That's required in the Constitution. But it's more than that. It's you want to make sure that you have the state on the right track to be sustainable, for people to be able to live here, to afford to live here, and have companies coming in and bringing their jobs here.
New Jersey's jobless rate is still a good bit above the national average.
It's troubling because we've traditionally had a fairly good economy relative to the rest of the country. And the thing I'm most concerned about is that the jobs that are coming back are not equal to the jobs that we lost. So an auto worker working in one of the old automobile plants that we had in New Jersey we no longer have loses a job and goes and works with something at lesser skill, lesser pay. And that's troubling. And we're behind the regeneration of new jobs, and the new jobs that are coming in are not as good as the old jobs. So it's a troubling thing that we have to look at very closely.
It's always troubling when you see us lag behind other states, and of course the national economy just is not coming back the way it has in the past. If we get a 2.5 or 3% rate of growth in the coming year, it will be good. And that's really below anything that we've experienced over a sustained period of time in the past. So it makes the challenges very real.
Well, certainly as we head into the new year, 2014, we'll be looking at all of the ramifications and how New Jersey's been impacted by the Super Bowl, played right here at MetLife Stadium. Are there any other stories that you'll be following, do you think?
I'll be watching what happens with open space and the funding for open space. We didn't get anything on the ballot this year. There are two competing bills, one that's in the Assembly, one that's in the Senate. One that would go for a bond issue to go before the public, the other would take a dedicated part of the sales tax to preserving open space. And I'm hoping we see some action on ensuring that we have the funding to be able to continue to preserve and to maintain those properties that we do have so that the public can enjoy that.
Governor Florio, what will you be following in the new year?
Well, one of the problems that has occurred that we have to deal with, which can yield good benefits if we do deal with it, is traffic congestion. And that tells us we have to do something about our infrastructure. Our infrastructure is falling behind. I think the American Society of Civil Engineers gave New Jersey a C- rating in terms of the infrastructure. We can have infrastructure improvements, make traffic congestion less of a problem, and also generate jobs. So here's a win-win-win opportunity. Transportation Trust Fund is sort of out of money, so we've got to replenish that so as to be able to put these transportation infrastructure initiatives into effect.
New Jersey watching on many fronts, on many important fronts. Governors, thank you very much for sharing your
Pleasure.
perspectives on the year just passed and the year ahead.
Thank you.